I got a bunch of R.E.M beauty products. I was really inspired by a video I recently came across, and it was Ariana Grande doing her eyeliner, and she did it in the most immaculate way, and it was really quick, and I was fascinated by it. I then went down kind of like a whole rabbit hole of a bunch of her more recent videos, went into some of her interviews with the cast of Wicked, and then I saw a lot more about her makeup there. So I was inspired not only just to get her eyeliner, but to get her entire line of products. So I'm going to showcase everything I got. It's basically going to be a full face with the exception of one or two things, and I'm going to tell you my honest thoughts about this brand and if I can get that iconic eyeliner without messing up multiple times. I'm starting off with Dreamglow, and this is in the color Aura. It's like a very silver iridescent shade. I don't know if this was the best one. I feel like I should have went for a little more golden shade, but I really like the look of it, and I think it's just meant to be a subtle highlight. So I've already done my skincare, my prep. Always start off with sunscreen, but I'm going to use this kind of as like my primer. I'm going to use that much. I'm just going to smear that all over. I like the dreaminess of it, like the entire line, obviously, R.E.M, you know, R.E.M. It's supposed to be like really dreamy and atmospheric. So I really liked Aura. Even if it may not have been the best color match for me, I was like, I'm still gonna use it. Bye. Just gonna let that sit for a second, and I don't know if the camera can pick up any difference, but I'm hoping that it'll add a little bit more luminosity just underneath the makeup. And as I said, that's going to be like my primer, and I'm going to go in with the eye products. Good lord, I'm going to try this eyeliner. I am not the greatest with eyeliner, but I can get a cat eye when it's less under pressure, so doing this on camera is very vexing for me. I got the Borderline eyeliner. I got it actually both in brown and black, but I'm going to use Midnight Black because her cat eye is very iconic. Like, it's very stark. It's very in your face. That's tube, and I'm just going to give it my absolute best shot. Whoo! Whoo! So that's what the tip looks like. Okay. Maybe I'll give it a shake. So I'm just going to try just back of my hand so you can see just the pigment of that. Okay. I'm going to give it another shimmy shake. I'm going to try to do this in one take without having to clean up, but I honestly am used to having to clean up for my eyeliner. I got like a mirror on the side here. Okay. So I usually see her just like draw it like right on down. I'm gonna try to do the same on the other side, kind of as like my landing marks, just to help with alignment. Ooh, I already messed it up. Okay. 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 I'm gonna breathe. Okay, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. I always find, of course, because I'm right dominant, that doing the left eye with the dominant hand is a little bit easier for me. And that is my attempt. Yeah, no, so I went and erased it. I just got some micellar water, and I'm going to attempt this again. I'm gonna attempt this again. Okay. The fact that she can get this in like one stroke is incredible. Okay, that's a little bit better, but I still have to clean up. Okay, so that's my second attempt. So I just got the basic shape, and her wing is, I think, a little bit more prominent. Like, she gets straight down. It's like beautiful and it's dramatic. So I'm going to play around with it a little bit more, but I'm going to leave this base as it is, and I'm going to add some mascara. But it is very strong in pigment, but I can tell you, no matter the design, I will always have to like course correct. Like, I never get it to be twin sisters. They're always distant cousins. That's my eyebrows, that is my eyeliner, but I will give this its flowers in the sense that it does have quite a bit of pigment. So I went ahead and I kind of course corrected what I did. I will admit, I'm not the strongest. I am very jealous of Miss Grande, Miss Ariana, for being able to do her winged eyeliner really quickly. I will say, I find with this formula, it was really strong pigment when I swatched it like the back of my hand. As far as like applying it, I find like it's a little bit watery, so it kind of looked patchy and sparse. So it's a very watery formula. So I would assume if you're doing like a small cat eye or something really quick for the morning, it might be better. But if you're looking for like a really dramatic look, you definitely, I think, either it's me, the skill error, or you have to play around with this formula a little bit. So I actually went ahead and just over like the initial layer that you saw before I went off camera, I went over it with my CoverGirl. This is the Exhibitionist Lash Enhancing Liquid Eyeliner. This one is a very strong pigment. It is just fully black, but you also have to handle this with care as well because it's so easy to go crazy with it. It's almost like you have to like stamp that particular pattern like right on, and then with steady hands kind of connect the lines, but I somehow F it up every single time. I'm gonna go in next with her concealer. I'm actually gonna use her concealer as foundation. The shade that I wanted wasn't available when I went to purchase her products, so I have to wait. So I'm gonna use this all over, and I'm gonna use her foundation brush, but I have to do a little bit of color correction. So just gonna lay a little bit of e.l.f. putty primer just under my eyes, and I'm gonna go around with that concealer just for everywhere else. So just gonna probably use my finger, just gonna dot a little bit under my eye there. I'm just gonna let that sit for a second. While I let that sit, I'm gonna play around with the foundation brush. I'm just going to pat that foundation brush right in there, get the product all over. And it's got a really interesting dome shape, like it's very futuristic. I actually really like this foundation brush. I'm just gonna go just basically in the center and around. I really wanted to try her foundation because I feel like there was a shade that really looked really good. I think it was in the tan. It was probably the last color in the tan section, and I feel like that would be good for like in the center of the face, and maybe using like the concealer just around the perimeter, because I am a little darker around the perimeter and then I get a little bit light towards the center, but alas, it could not be. I'm gonna go more into where my eye area is, and I'm gonna go more under the eye, and I've already started to blend out, so I'm using some of the concealer on top of that e.l.f. putty primer or putty color corrector that I used to kind of make everything seamless. The concealer has good coverage, It really does. I like how it looks on the skin. Feels very light on the face, so the concealer is not too bad. I think the color match is okay. I like how this foundation brush kind of fits under the eye. It's got a really unique shape, and the bristles are soft, but they are also densely packed, so it can pick up product. It is definitely meant for more liquid foundation versus using like a more stiffer concealer. This is definitely cream, and obviously with concealer it's meant to be concentrated, but you can definitely pick up a lot of product with it. And it does have that nice like skin-like glow. It's not cakey at all. I probably dipped in maybe 3 or 4 times just to get the perimeter of my face and just kind of blending out like the concealer or the color corrector that I put underneath, which is a little bit more creamy in texture. But I think I'm going to leave that for the face, and I'm going to go in with her setting spray just to kind of lock this in and work with her more powder products, get more into the complexion stuff. Miss Thing, her setting spray. Yes, you technically should use setting spray towards the end, but I like using setting spray in between. I'm going to give it a shake. I'm going to spray. And I'm going to let that dry. I'm going to let that matte down, and then I'm going to go in with her blushes. I have 2 colors. I have Strawberry Nebula, which looks very, very pigmented, and I've heard a lot of great things about her blushes. And I also have Pinking of You as well, which is like a softer pink, and I'm thinking of using that first, just kind of like layering the base and almost trying to go for like an ombre effect. I wish I had her blush brush, but it was unavailable when I went to purchase her makeup products, so I have to use my own that's a little bit tapered like that. So I'm gonna dip in. Sorry, this is how Pinking of You looks like. So it's a very faint pink. I'm gonna use that as like a light dusting just on my cheeks there. Maybe aim around under my eye. And that's how it looks dead on. So very faint. Okay, so that's like the Pinking of You. So it's very pale. So if you're someone that's probably a little bit more on the tan side, a little bit fairer, it'll probably be much bigger of a flush. For me, it's just like the first layer, but there is like a little bit of iridescent in it, which is really pretty. I'm gonna set actually my T-zone with some powder. She doesn't have a setting powder as far as I know. I didn't see any. So I'm gonna use like the Lawless setting powder, and I'm just going to tap and just put a little bit like around my T-zone with a teensy bit. I'm gonna go back now with just a teensy bit more blush. So I'm gonna go back into Pinking of You, dab a little bit more just to build up. And then I'm gonna go in with the darker pink shade. So now Strawberry Nebula will be right there. So I'm gonna dip in. God, it is so pigmented. Woo! Look at that. Yeah. God, that's such a gorgeous color. I'm gonna layer that on top. Now this could go very wrong. Wow. Woo, 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 woo. Look at that. Look at that. That's a lot of color payoff. I knew the Strawberry Nebula would be really gorgeous. So I'm going to play around with those two, and I'm just going to mainly concentrate it on my cheek, the apples of my cheeks, but I'm going to try to fan out a little bit. For lip products, I got her Essential Drip Glossy Balm. I got it in the color Strawberry Soda. And I also got her Practically Permanent Lip Stain Marker, and this is in the color Popular, which is like a pink undertone. So I'm gonna kind of use her permanent marker as like my lip liner, even though she does have lip liners as well. But I just thought this was an interesting concept. And I remember her raving about this in a video I watched of her recently. So I'm gonna use this first. Looks like that. Okay, that's what the applicator looks like. All right. Oh wow, I didn't expect it to be that pigmented. Oh shit, okay. Oh, okay. So this is a really nice mauve. When I used a tester, it was definitely a softer pink, but I'm thinking maybe it was just lower on product. And I also used it on the back of my hand, so I didn't really get a true look at what it looks like on the lips. So this is okay. So that is the stain. It's a lot brighter than I thought it would be. There was this one, and then there's another one that I thought was really gorgeous as well, and it's a little bit more red. I forget the name of it. I was debating between that one and this. And I was kind of thinking, oh, I should have got that darker one, but this is very rich on its own. Okay. Okay. Finally, I'm going to go in with her lip gloss, and I'm really looking forward to this. This totes for a lot of skincare benefits as well, and I just love the shock pink of it in the tube. I'm feeling this is going to be a really nice formula. I've seen a lot of great reviews about it. Okay, and that's the doe foot applicator. Ah. I'm gonna put that all over. Here are all the products I got from R.E.M. Beauty, and this is my final look. I would say out of everything, my favorite absolutely would be the blushes. Particularly what stands out to me is Strawberry Nebula. It is as pigmented as it gets. It is beautiful. I don't know if the camera is picking up just the gorgeous vibrance of this blush, but it's beautiful, and I love the formula. The formula is super comfortable. Pinking of You I think is a little bit too light, but there was another pink shade in the range that I think would be really beautiful and would work for like tan or darker skin tones. But this one is very nice as like the initial layer of blush, and I feel like these two together, they probably will add to some lasting power along with the setting spray. But definitely Strawberry Nebula is gorgeous. Pinking of You I just think is a little too pale for me on its own, but definitely the layering with the two of them, really, really pretty. I also really like the lip gloss. So Strawberry Soda, gorgeous. I'll definitely use the pen. The pen is a little bit drier, but it's meant to be a tint, so it should be dry. But as far as the color, I was surprised. I actually thought it was going to be lighter in color than what it was. It's got a little bit more of a boom, so it's very pretty. The two of them together, gorgeous as well. I actually enjoy using the concealer. I would definitely use the concealer again if I wanted to do like a no foundation routine. You can definitely pick up a lot of product with the help of the foundation brush, but definitely in the long term, I would love to get her foundation. I think the formula looks really great. It just so happened that the color that I really wanted for my skin complexion, they just didn't have available, neither online or to where I went physically to buy the products. So I'll have to wait on that. The spray, I will have to wait and see, but I can definitely follow up. I can tell you just from immediate first impressions, it feels nice. It's got a little nice scent to it, nothing overpowering, and I do like that it helps to mattify without making your face feel dry. I'm just looking at my mirror at the side here. So I think so far so good. So we'll wait and see on that. The only thing that is a little bit disappointing is basically the crux of the video that I based around, which was the eyeliner. I feel like the formula is a little watery, so if she could come back with like a stronger, more dramatic one. I do know that she has expanded some of her eyeliner wear. Like there's a lot of graphic liner that's in her line. There's like a white liner that I was debating on getting and trying one of her more dramatic looks that I saw, but I just wasn't able to find it at that time, but I do believe it was available. But this one, I think on its own, unless you're doing like a more subtle day-to-day cat eye, you'd probably have to work it a little bit to get something a little bit more dramatic. Off camera, I went and as I showed you, I used like another eyeliner, and then on top of that, I used a different mascara and maybe just a little bit of black powder just to kind of connect the line going inwards. But I had to work with it a little bit more, which was disappointing. But I also am fully ready to admit that my cat eye skill could use some work. I wish I could do it in like one take. And I have yet to find a product where it makes it extraordinarily simple to do that. I have all sorts of different eyeliners, and no matter what, my eyeliners always look like cousins. They never look like twin sisters, but I do it anyways because I like the look of it. So I keep trying in vain. But that is my overall thoughts of R.E.M. Beauty.